Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Who's CTV. I'm Miss T, and as promised, I was going to get back to you. So, we're going to talk about my road to self discovery and my road to ending I don't want to say ending, my journey beyond a 22-year career as a medical billing and coding specialist. So I'm asking you guys to join me in this intimate space where I share this pivotal decision for me to leave my 22-year long career in the medical profession. Having dedicated my life to helping others, I've embarked on a new chapter driven to commitment to my own health. Yes, commitment to my own health and my own well being. So let's unravel the narrative of the strength and vulnerability as I discuss the challenges, the leap of faith, and the unknown path ahead. Your support and your insights are valued as we explore the transformative journey from healing others to self discovery. So, I like to begin in telling you a little bit about what I call burnout, and most people do call burnout. So, burnout is a state of chronic physical and emotional exhaustion. It's often accompanied by feelings of detachment from work or responsibilities. It is typically the result of a prolonged stress, excessive workload, or continuous exposure to challenging situations. Burnout can affect various aspects of a person's life, including their job, their relationships, or their overall well being. So, there are a few key characteristics of burnout that include exhaustion. Individuals that experience burnout feel drained, depleted of their physical and emotional energy. This fatigue is not easily relieved by rest or relaxation. The detachment, burnout can lead to a negative and cynical attitude towards one's job, responsibilities, or just life in general. There may be a sense of detachment or feeling of being emotionally distant. Reduced performance. Burnout often results in reduced efficiency and effectiveness at work or in daily activities. Tasks that were once manageable become very overwhelming. Feelings of effectiveness. Individuals may feel a sense of ineffectiveness. I said feelings of effectiveness. Individuals may feel a sense of ineffectiveness and a lack of accomplishment, even when they are putting significant effort into everything they touch. This can contribute to a decline in self esteem. I didn't have a decline in self esteem, but I experienced a few of these things right here, which is why I wanted to discuss this early on. Physical symptoms. Burnout can manifest physically, leading to symptoms such as headaches, stomach aches, and sleep disturbance. Yes, guys, Miss T has had a big problem with sleep disturbance. Hence, why this next Tuesday, or the upcoming Tuesday rather, we will discuss insomnia for our Healthy Tea segment. Chronic stress can impact overall health. That is huge. That chronic stress can actually impact your overall health. Oh my goodness, that is That's something. That's something. So burnout is not limited to any specific profession or industry. It can affect anyone facing prolonged stress or overwhelming demands. It is important to recognize the signs of burnout early on and take proactive steps to address and manage stressors. Seeking support, setting boundaries, and prioritizing self care are crucial components of preventing and overcoming burnout. And when that doesn't work, you put in your resignation. Permit C. That's where I'm at with it. So here I am going to ask you guys to bear with me because it might be a tad lengthy, but I'm trying to like narrow this down. 22 years is a long time, and I'm narrowing it down. And one of the reasons I feel inclined to speak about it is because once these couple days are over, I'm closing this chapter. I'm not looking back. I will keep my relationships in place with certain people, but if our relationship only consists of us talking about work, we might as well cut ties now. Because I don't want to talk about it. Okay. I do not want to talk about it at all. So, anyhow, join me as I share these deep personal reasons behind me leaving this profession and focusing on my own healing. Okay. Um, so where was I gonna go with this? Sorry about that. So reflections. I'm gonna reflect here on my medical billing career just a little bit. I'm gonna take you down a journey of memory lane here that you may not be privy to. So when I first started this job, I started as a file clerk in a medical office. I started as a file clerk and eventually I worked my way up the ranks. And once I became a biller, there was a couple things that happened in between there. Back in the day, you didn't have to go to school for certain things. They went by on the job experience. So while I was on said job, I learned a lot of things outside of the medical billing scope. So at one time, I was juggling multiple things in this medical office, and it worked out for then. And I started getting a little burnout back then, and I took a break and reassessed, which is what I feel like I'm doing now. I'm doing like a little bit of a reboot, and I'm not thinking about who is questioning it or whatever. I just want to kind of like lay this to rest. And if you are an acquiring mind and you're one of my subscribers, you might just want to know. You might can relate to the situation. So it's best to, have this open dialogue and discussion about all the things that are going on in the world right now. So I'm here for it. I hope you are as well. So, there were challenges along the way. There were triumphs along the way. When we moved as a whole office, I mean, we did things together that most people haven't done on their job and they've been there for 40 to 50 years. As far as birthdays and weddings and parties and childbirths, we've done it all together. So I wouldn't change any of that. And there were a lot of lessons learned along the way. So I can give you an example of a lesson learned. When I first became a biller, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't go to school, nothing. They threw me into it. Like, you're fast at everything. You're versatile. You have all these good strengths and qualities, and we know you could do it. That a girl. Get in there. And it was like, wow. But I didn't make it work. I made it work. And so that was a lesson in itself. The lesson there, if you are not picking up on it, is that oftentimes it's perceived that you have to have multiple degrees to be successful, and that's not the case. We see that with others, and things have changed, and there are things that we just weren't taught. We were always taught to do A, B, C, and we went along with each category because it's what was stated. Now, if you guys have a chance, I will tell you there is a segment going on CNN that I think you can go back and watch probably online or something of that nature. But there's couples that are talking about if they knew what they like, if they knew now what they thought they knew then, back then, as far as going to school, or to these Ivy League universities or colleges, they wouldn't have gone at all. They wouldn't have gone. So anyhow, back on board here. This role has been more than a job for me. It's been a journey of commitment and service to others. And people often overlook the medical biller when it comes to helping patients. They consider this a non-clinical role. But let me tell you, you impact the lives of people on a daily basis when it comes to medical billing. You are responsible for making sure that they, are not paying anything that they shouldn't be paying when it comes to charges for exams or blood work or EKGs, which are x-rays, anything of that nature. The patients depend on you. And when they get a bill they don't understand, they depend on you to act upon it. If their insurance does not cover the service, they depend on you to contact their insurance. They don't know the terminology. They don't know the lingo. They often, especially when it comes to our seniors, they get the runaround. People do not actually take them as serious as you would expect someone to take seniors anymore. People are not following the norm. Before, you respected all seniors, whether they were whoever, wherever, you knew that you couldn't say a certain thing to someone of a certain age. Now, everything is just out the window. People are just running amok and mistreating seniors, and it makes me like downright mad. Okay, it makes me very angry and upset. But it's a service that you're providing to patients. Oftentimes, you're not just dealing with patients, you're dealing with different vendors or different insurance companies, and you get to know these people in that space, and you become comfortable with them, and you know, like the ins and outs. So, therefore, I will definitely miss the patients. Besides certain co-workers, I will definitely miss the patients that I've grown accustomed to knowing, and those that know me or people that knew me prior to me working there because I was a patient there. So there's a lot of history. So in the second part of this segment, I would like to discuss why I just decided to leave. So not only was it just dealing with the burnout, it's dealing with the expectations that you can always just handle everything all the time. If you haven't had a chance, you're going to want to go back and watch my previous live. Yes, my previous live stream about strong persons. These strong people that are among us that are perceived to be strong individuals that oftentimes do not get the same reciprocal courtesy of you checking on them and supporting them in their endeavors. Okay, with that being said, so when I decided to leave and step away, I felt like this was a very good choice. I felt like it was a very good choice, and the aspect of me being on a pursuit of my own health and well-being and making it a priority. I felt like I am just unraveling layers of strength right now, and I'm unraveling layers of vulnerability in the face of this significant life decision. And I'm going to explain why I think this is going to work out in my favor. I've worked on several things in the past year, and I never actually I put effort into it, but I don't think I gave it 1,000% because in the back of my head, I always thought 1,000% that this job will work out the way I thought it was going to work out. When you're promised something's going to happen and it doesn't happen, it kind of really takes you back. And when you ask why things didn't happen and you don't get the appropriate answer, you don't get an answer at all, it's like they don't care about me. So it's either I need to make this decision or not. And then when I discuss things with certain people in my life and they say things to me in reference to my complaints, I don't know why when you tell facts that is considered complaints. If I say I can't handle it and I come to you in a professional manner and say I can't do this, I type emails and say I can't do this, I don't know why people don't take that as validity that you can't do this. Make it all make sense because it really doesn't. And I say it doesn't make sense is because when you talk to others and they ask you why you're leaving and you say, well, A, B, C, D, and they say, oh, those are valid issues that need addressed. And then you get emails that say, you're this, that, the third, everything, but I should have been more vigilant, whatever. None of that took place. So I just feel like some of it took place. Wait a minute. Let me back up. Let me not say none of that took place. Some things took place, but at what point do you decide that you making this significant life change is valid? When do you think? So I am at this point, when I decided to leave, I had not only a discussion with my higher being, but also with myself. I can't say that I called my husband, and I do not advise anyone to do this. I do not advise for anyone to do this. I did not call my husband because we've had this discussion several times. And his main thing that he always says to me is, babe, if you are not happy, do something to change it. And I'm sad that it took me 22 years to figure out that this was not the right place for me. When you take on a job, you take on one job. I took on way more than one job in this role. It didn't happen immediately. It's almost like, I'm going to give you a scenario. It's like you're in a relationship, and when you first get together, you're paying 50-50. But life changes happen, and you guys have a baby, and you're on maternity leave, and it's unpaid. At what point do you and your spouse discuss these issues? Do you discuss it prior to having this child, or do you discuss it afterwards? And then he's in charge of a majority of the finances, and said baby comes and he's not paying for the baby. It's all on you. No pay, no money coming from nowhere, but if the baby needs anything, it's all on you. This is the scenario I felt like I was in. It's almost like you're in a relationship that is very toxic, and at this point it's unwarranted for you to be there. So that's where I'm going. This is why I've made this decision. So anyhow, your questions are important to me. So I would like to take a moment to, do some type of question and answer segment in the chat, in reference to anything about my career that you may have a question, or you may be going through the same scenario, or you may be know someone who's having the same feeling of burnout and the decision making process behind it, or even the emotions involved. Your your participation makes this conversation richer and more dynamic, and it makes me feel like A, I'm not alone, and B, there's someone listening. So let's talk about me embracing the unknown a little bit here. So I'm embarking on this new journey without a clear roadmap. That can be both daunting and liberating at the same time. So I'll share my thoughts on the uncertainty a little bit. So when I say uncertain, it's not that I don't have a plan in place. It's just that I don't know how my plan in place is going to work out. So I've wrote myself like a little list of 3 things that I feel like I have to do right away to like revamp myself. Like I don't want to change myself, but completely change myself. But there are some things that are warranted at this point that need to be changed. So first thing that I have to change is I feel like I'm emerging out of a bubble. I've been in this bubble, in this space of waking up and going to a 9 to 5 job for so long, with the exception during the period of the big C where I worked from home. In that case, I was getting up at 7:30 and getting on the computer, even while I was in excruciating pain. Maybe we'll do a video on my journey from not being able to walk after receiving the big C shot to how I'm back to or why I thought I was going to be back to where I was prior to getting the shot in the first place. That is a story to tell. And I am sure there are many people out there that have been in this position as well. But anyway, as far as the uncertainty ahead, right now I have courage. I have courage. And so I have the courage to embark on this unknown path at the time. I'm excited. I'm discovering things about myself that I didn't even know. So self-discovery is huge. When you discover that, you're enough, it's just enough and you can't do any more, that's huge. Especially for someone who's strong and who's used to putting up with everything. That's like huge when you realize that, you know what, this ain't for me. I'm bouncing. It's huge. So I'm excited to see what lies beyond the familiar, the confines, the confines of the previous career. I'm excited to see what lies beyond that, because there are more things. I will tell you from my personal experience. I've done many jobs in between me even working this job. Like I helped my husband and I rehabbed a home where I learned to hang drywall. I always could paint. I've been crafty. I reupholstered chairs in my house and things of that nature. I painted the room that I'm in now that you can't see. I've painted every room in this house that we live in. I learned how to change brakes many moons ago. There's different things that I know how to do. Like if you knew me as a person, you would know that I'm kind of handy with different things. And I cook and I do whatever anyone needs. If you know me as a person, I will give you the shirt off my back because that's just me. I've like trained a lot of people on the job. I never once was worried that they would fail because I was confident in myself and confident in them. So I'm leaving a lot behind. Not like I'm leaving them tools to be successful because they're still my people. So whether I'm there or not, I'm not abandoning anyone. So I'm just excited to see what's beyond this. So as we wrap up, I just want to express my gratitude for your support and participation in this dialogue. I want to invite you guys to share your own experiences, your thoughts, and any advice on my career transition and my self discovery. Remember, this journey is a collective one. This journey is a collective one, and your insights are truly valued. Now, on the next segment of Who's He TV, we are going to discuss something different. We are going to mix it up a little bit. So I'm excited, and I suggest that you guys get excited as well. And also on the next live stream, whenever that may be. Now I said the next segment, I didn't say it was going to be live. But on the next live stream, I will be able to introduce you guys to something new. I can't wait. But until next time, I'm going to continue to encourage you guys to sip on some good tea. And one of the reasons why I'm going to encourage that is because it promotes a lot of things. Clear thinking, and it helps you be self-aware of the unknown. So keep on